The 2021 External Vulnerabilities and Resilience Report evaluates and ranks countries globally on their exposures to external crises. This year expanded to capture 95 countries internationally. This external risk evaluation is especially critical amid signs of slowdown in the United States, Europe, and China, rising inflation, and monetary tightening, with the associated increased threat of risk reversal in global markets. Sovereign credit defaults reached a record last year. Argentina twice, Zambia, and Lebanon in one of the most severe economic crises in history. Under such conditions amid COVID-19, what we identify in this annual evaluation report is a new risky three of three countries in our 2021 rankings that are the most exposed and least resilient to external crisis. These three are Lebanon, Zambia, and Angola. All three have faced imminent risk of or already entered default since 2020. In addition, other countries within the top 10 most at risk globally include all of last year's risky three, Georgia, Argentina, and Turkey, alongside El Salvador, Belarus, Sri Lanka, and Armenia. Against this, we also identify a new sturdy three of three countries that are the most resilient globally to shock. These include two countries that have been on the sturdy three before: Switzerland, this year's #1 ranked country, and Japan, alongside one newcomer in Malta. China edges off this year's top three and to fourth globally.
We present our external risk reports in a two-axis grid. The riskier countries are generally in quadrant 1 on the top right of this grid, reflecting some less developed economies. And those economies that are the least at risk are displayed in quadrant 3 on the bottom left, reflecting many advanced economies. The top 10 economies most at risk are circled on the top right, and the sturdy tree is circled on the bottom left. There are also some interesting cases of countries that are kind of in between those poles. For example, in quadrant 4, on the bottom right, there are countries that are more vulnerable to crisis, but comparatively resilient in an event of crisis. This category includes, as an example, peripheral European nations in Spain, Greece, Ireland, and Portugal. These countries hold a reserve currency in euro, which can bridge global external shocks despite vulnerabilities such as large net external debtor positions. And there are countries on the top left of the grid in quadrant 2 that might be less vulnerable to external shocks, but also less resilient in case of a crisis. In this report, we'll look at two regions in more detail, being firstly the region of Central and Eastern Europe, Caucasus, and Central Asia, where we identify a fragile four of Georgia, Belarus, Armenia, and Turkey. And secondly, we'll look at Africa, where we observe a risky tree of Zambia, Angola, and Gabon. This report and ranking provide us a framework to monitor closely external sector risk at this precise juncture in economic history of uneven recoveries during COVID-19 crisis, and which countries might be more or less exposed, informing our credit ratings deliberations.